Hi, folks. Hope you're all doing well.
Hola.
Hello, Zan. How are you?
Jake, you know what? It's a sad day for the esports industry,
It
but
truly is,
I'm
and will
still
continue
trucking.
to be.
Yeah.
You're not the only one struggling. Everyone else is as well.
Yeah, the whole scene is.
We're definitely going to tell you guys more about those struggles here sometime soon. Welcome back to the Esports Rewind every single day, guys. No, every single week. Same time. God, I could not do this daily.
Close enough.
We're going to break down all the top stories for all of you guys. Ready to kick it off?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Let's do it. All right, Zan, I'm going to present you two business options to start off this good old this good old Wad West.
Okay.
And last week we actually talked about FaZe Dubs versus Soar Carl. If you guys missed that, great story. Not really. It depends how you look at it.
True.
This one, more of a great story. That's going to be two gigantic announcements. 100 Thieves a bit back. They announced their 100 Thieves compound. Probably, arguably, I would say, if not a top three, the #1 esports facility currently in the game. And now, as of this past week, probably 2 weeks ago at the point of this podcast going out, FaZe Clan also a gigantic announcement. Probably the most expensive and largest content house we will ever see in esports.
Yeah, for the immediate future, absolutely.
Yeah, ranging.
I think it's a beast.
I mean, it's millions and millions, and of course, around $80,000 per month in rent is the speculative amount. And so, my question to you is, who gets the better deal out of their compounds?
Well, I mean, first of all, that's a no-brainer. 100 Thieves because I didn't pay for it.
Okay, all right. I was gonna. That was gonna be my next point. God dang it, frick! If you guys had not heard as well, updates and news on that. We actually had a video on the channel about the sponsors 100 Thieves had. They decked out the entire facility very smartfully. Is that
intelligently?
The right word? Thank you. Yeah. Intelligently. I think it was like 7 to 8 sponsors. The latest one being Elgato, and we just found out, as of us recording, that it actually paid for the entire expenses of the facility. So I guess my question just becomes a nil question, but I mean, it's crazy to imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure those sponsors are pretty happy about their deal because now their logos are all over the place and all this content they're making there, and the fees are split between them. I imagine, so it's not like one company who is paying the 35 mil.
Yeah, or whatever the rent comes down to. I'm sure none of them actually put down the entire
right. Yeah, nobody walked up with a suitcase and was like,
"You got Totino's?
Nade
shot. You sell so many pizza rolls. You want to buy your 35 million? Yeah, of course it's obviously split the rent between all of them, but it's certainly a first that we've seen. I imagine. I don't think anyone else probably can say this.
Not nearly at this level.
Yeah, no. Really utilizing those sponsors and really bringing in sponsors that no one else can, albeit we can play the other side of things as well.
Oh, absolutely.
When it comes time for, if there was any esports organization who could afford to pay 80 grand a month just for content creators to live somewhere, it's FaZe.
Oh,
I don't even think 100 Thieves could pull that off.
Yeah, and
unless it was sponsored.
I think they're going to be doing just fine with the amount of money they spend, especially with just imagine the return, just the return off of the house tour. That's at least tens of thousands over that video's lifespan. And then all the content they're going to be able to make now that they're all like right next to each other.
Yeah.
And they have this huge, like you can't even call it a content house almost. That thing is
it's a compound. It is a residence in itself. But certainly when it comes time for the millions of views that's going to draw in, obviously I'm surprised they didn't have sponsors, at least at the point of us, again, recording this one. They didn't have any sponsors for the, which is very shocking.
Yeah.
Very, very surprising. Of course, they have their affiliation heavily with like a sponsor or a partner like G Fuel. But it's just crazy to see when it comes time for, again, leading moves out there of whether it's the draw of sponsorships or the amount of money they can pay for content. FaZe, 100 Thieves. FaZe, 100 Thieves.
Yeah, back and forth.
There's no better answer here. They're both doing very, very well, and it's crazy to see the moves they keep on making.
Okay, Jakey boy. So, I'm a bit of a fashion guy,
You're?
Tiny bit.
Not me. About as polar opposite as it gets.
Yeah. But, there's a little bit of a crossover from the fashion industry and the sports industry and the esports industry all coming together as one this week. And really, it's actually kind of cool. It's dope. So, basically, Adidas, FIFA, and Google are partnering for these insoles for soccer cleats.
What a freaking combination.
Yeah,
Adidas, FIFA, and Google?
Google.
What the
Yeah, right. And I'm shocked nobody's talking about it this week.
I'm really curious how this meeting comes about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the FIFA people are just like, hey, Adidas, so you make our soccer cleats. Do you want to get Google on the line? We can sort something out.
All of a sudden, three-way call.
Yeah, like all on Skype.
And they're like, we got an idea. They all at the same time. Foot soles.
Yeah, insoles.
Insoles.
Yeah, but anyway, so basically, I know the term insole doesn't get tossed around a ton, so let me real quick. The insole is that little piece of fabric that separates your foot from the actual bottom of your shoe. That keeps
I know
you
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I used to run.
Yeah, well, hey.
And those are the things that sometimes come out of your shoe. And you get really, and they also smell bad. You can replace them sometimes and wash them separately. Sorry.
Well, hey, crucial context. Some people may not like.
You guys need to know.
Yeah, very important. So basically, there's this chip inside of these insoles, which they are calling their Adidas Gamer insoles. Gamer spelled GMR, of course, because they're hip and they're with it.
Yeah, because why spell it the right way?
Because to be fair, we're people to talk about spelling things the right way. I can't think of probably 60% of esports names are misspellings. Yeah. But anyway, basically, so this insole goes into any soccer cleat, and it'll track your kicks, your ball control, your running, all of that. And then it'll convert that into rewards in FIFA Mobile for Ultimate Team.
Oh, that's actually pretty dope.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. That's actually really sick.
So it'll set you up with weekly challenges. That is stuff like, if you're doing sprints, it'll track that. If you're running distance, it'll track that. If you're doing really good on passing the ball to other people, it'll track that. Just shooting the ball.
So cool.
Yeah.
Are there decent rewards? Do we know it all? Or that
they literally just released yesterday. So we don't know. We don't have a ton of details. Dang. But what actually blew my mind about this? Guess how much they are.
Are they reasonable?
They're $40.
$40? Dude, I was gonna be middle. I was gonna try and lowball as much as possible.
Yeah,
say
right?
60.
Yeah.
Are they actual? Wait, there's an actual soccer term for the shoot. If I call them cleats, do they?
Yeah, they're cleats. Yeah.
But I feel like soccer people call them something different.
I'm pretty sure they're cleats because when I was reading the official
I could be wrong, but
stuff,
I can hear the soccer.
Cleats.
I can hear the football fans making fun of us.
We
right
apologize. We don't wear cleats,
but we know for a fact $40 is a steal.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously that's not the price of the shoe.
It's the insole.
It's the insole.
Okay,
with the chip, and that can go in any shoe, anytime. That's pretty dope.
That's a bit more. That's a bit more what you probably expect.
Yeah. But I don't know. Just the level of technology on display here, just for this little thing you just slip into any shoe.
This is so weird because it's like you're not spending $40 on an in-game transaction, but you're spending $40 to get yourself active to then eventually maybe get money worth in game, maybe get your money's back in game.
Yeah.
But also get something out of it.
It's super weird, but at the same time, I mean, we've seen it before. Pokemon Go has this with they've got their little step counter thing you can buy. And older Pokemon games have had that too.
Honestly, I feel like we're probably at the slightly above average active for gamers.
Yeah,
I would love for other games to do this, but I don't see it being anything outside of Pokemon Go and FIFA.
Yeah, probably.
I don't see Counter-Strike or League of Legends saying, "Oh, every time you go outside, wear your wristwatch."
We'll boost your KD.
Yeah, we'll boost your freaking
get experience towards ranked points.
Yeah, God, that'd be weird. You earn more blue essence.
Sus,
I'm very curious if this is going to go over well.
I don't know if it's really gained traction because even when I was reading through the reports, they were saying it was all about, hey, they're gonna have a huge announcement to reveal them, and then nobody reported on the actual reveal or the announcement. Literally nobody. And Adidas isn't really promoting it. They're just out here hey guys,
we have it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it does.
We'll see.
Certainly a really cool concept, and it also reminds me of gamer shoes. So
yeah.
And so.
But at least this one
has a more of a purpose.
This one makes a lot more sense than those. I don't know what those are for.
Yeah, we'll see if that sense actually makes sense. So we'll
makes the dollars and the cents.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. Zan, the Magic Man. I'm gonna ask you a question, okay, my friend?
That is if I heard that in the middle of the night, I would be terrified.
Dude, there are so many things I say in our house in the middle of the night where our team leader Madge is like, oh my God.
I'm convinced that half the reason you guys think there's a ghost is just because you say some nonsense at 1 a.m.
Hello there.
And Colin and Madge are just that's the ghost.
Anyway, this all makes sense, guys, okay? I'm gonna ask Zan a question because it's that point in time. We actually, last week now, Warzone has been released.
Yes.
Warzone at launch has been nuts. It's been absolutely nuts.
I think the biggest Battle Royale launch we've seen, actually.
I would agree. Because Fortnite was a steady and then all of a sudden explosive. So if we're going only off launch,
Apex did pretty well, but not close to 6 million.
6 million downloads in the first 24 hours.
Crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
Crazy.
Free to play, cross-platform, whatever you want. It's the biggest hype game in Battle Royale we're talking about. My question is, can a Battle Royale be an esport? And I'm definitely, I think our answer is probably going to lean towards the same.
Yeah.
And I'm only asking because me and you have talked about the likes of PUBG. PUBG Mobile is doing just fine. The main PUBG is certainly dwindling. A lot of esports organizations backing out. Apex, kind of the same story. Apex was the original Fortnite killer. They had their global series this year, but with the coronavirus stuff, who knows what's going to happen there. And besides the global series, it took them, what was it, a year, just over a year
Something
to announce
like that, yeah.
any real, besides Code Reds and Twitch Rivals and actual events. It took them so long. Apex will always be an entertaining game. I don't know if it's going to be a successful esport. Fortnite, the last one. Fortnite, obviously, numbers now in the dip. Fortnite World Cup #2, maybe not happening. Competitive scene has been struggling for sure. And so I think it's a reasonable argument to make. Can Battle Royales even succeed as esports?
See, I think the question more is not can Battle Royales succeed, more do people need to force Battle Royales to be esports so quickly, right?
Yeah.
And I think because what we're seeing with Fortnite and Apex and such is the companies are trying to really pushing the esports angle themselves, right? It's not like the community as much who's like building up this grassroots competitive esports scene, and they've got all this hype and energy and they're just passionate about it. It's more like the company saying, hey, we'll give you all this money, come compete and play our game. And that can only sustain you for so long. Whereas something like Call of Duty, already, like, obviously the company itself, Activision Blizzard, is still pouring tons of money into the Call of Duty competitive scene, but it has that backbone still, inherently of having come up to be its own successful esport on its own.
And I wouldn't even say it's Activision. They actually have just gotten organizations to somehow buy into this crazy model. But
which
like
is exactly,
you said,
that's what matters, that the organizations themselves are like, we want to do it.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like, you build up over time that solidified loyalty from these organizations who say, yeah, we're from grassroots and we trust the future of this league.
Right.
Let us do the legwork. Activision is like, yeah, we'll keep raking it in. Certainly, I think, especially the games I talked about, maybe besides PUBG, with Apex and Fortnite and now Warzone, Warzone being a bit different, but Apex and Fortnite, especially when you look at Fortnite, like you said, just dumped. I mean, they knew what worked, right? But now what we have a case of is they dumped $80+ million in less than 2 years into a competitive scene, and now people are thinking, oh, just like, maybe League of Legends or Counter-Strike or Rocket League, or especially when you look towards other games out there, they steadily grow, like the Dota 2 as well. They steadily grow with the prize.
Yeah, not having the league force it to grow.
Yeah,
the
typical
community
fashion.
builds it.
Every few years, you see these prize pools with esports generally go up. With Fortnite, just flat line to just gigantic spike, and now people, I don't blame them, they expect bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And at this point, you got to ask the question, are players going to stick around competitively if the money's not there anymore? Because Epic can't afford to do this forever.
I know, but they can afford to do it for quite some time. It's funny. It's funny how small, I'm doing quotes, their prize pools are, but it's still so much more than other Battle Royales.
Absolutely.
So I think we're going to see plenty of people stick it out. But, more to the point, I don't know what Warzone's angle is going to be, but I definitely agree with you that I don't know if it's necessary to be an esport. To be a casually competitive game where you have every now and again these events with streamers, content creators, maybe other pro players join Warzone for a bit.
Yeah, maybe like more like exhibition style as opposed to like everything needing a global series.
I don't know if that's the angle that Warzone's going to try and go with an esport, especially with Call of Duty already having their own franchise league.
Right, don't want too much confusion there.
Why try and bring your Call of Duty pros into Warzone? There's just no need for it. So I honestly can't see, besides Fortnite, and even that, we have our concerns with an actual Battle Royale taking off competitively and lasting as an esport.
Right.
So we'll see what the future holds here, guys. Warzone's still pretty successful. We'll see if even that success can hang on longer than others have. Frick.
Okay, kind of connecting to your previous topic, Jake, let's talk about League of Legends real quick.
Let's do it.
There was some drama in the scene this week as Riot rolled out this new set of guidelines for North American community tournaments, right? And they're pretty restrictive is the problem here, because these community tournaments it's referring purely to events put on by, like, you say you're in high school, you're putting on a tournament, you're in college putting on a tournament, you're a community, like, group of people putting on an event. These rules apply exclusively to those types of events, right? And generally speaking, most of them aren't insane. There's stuff like, hey, you can't just use our name and our branding for whatever you want. Rip.
Sorry.
You can't like, profit off of our game. You can't charge people too much to come to your tournament, stuff like that. That's all reasonable. But where it gets a little tricky is where they start really limiting odd stuffs for schools specifically. So there's one general rule set for high school and college events specifically. I'm going to read you a couple of the rules that they've got laid down here. For example, the total prize pool across events from one organizer can't exceed $10,000 per year. So if you are a high school that's running an event, right, and you have a prize pool, you can't go above $10,000, and that's not just pure cash. You can't.
Oh no, that's my next question.
Yeah.
Not scholarships or any items. You can't be valued.
In value, pure value. You can't go above $10,000 in a single year. Not only that, but
is that per league? You said
per event, per organizer.
So as in total
as
a TO tournament organizer.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire year. Total can't be more. What are they gonna give out?
Yeah, right.
Mouse pads? You
high fives.
Like, oh my! By the end of the year, you'll be like, we reached our quota.
Yeah, like, right. And then what are you gonna do? Just not have an event at that point?
What the heck?
Yeah, and
I hadn't read this on purpose. So I was hoping someone would bring it up.
Yeah. Also, if you have a sponsor that wants to help you, get your event off the ground, contribute to your prize pool, et cetera, one sponsor can't support more than 3 events in a year.
Do you have reasons behind why
they did not provide reasons? They just had said, these are the rules, guys. This is what's going on now. They didn't give reasons. They said, obviously, people didn't like them.
A lot of my reaction is going to be shocked because it's like first time interaction with it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. It's a lengthy document, and these rules are just like nuts. Just reading it, I had to reread it a couple times to make sure I was understanding it correctly. Because I was like, what is this?
And all of this, by the way, I know you guys maybe don't watch a lot of our high school or college league content because we don't have too much, but we have, we've talked a little bit about these high school leagues.
Right.
We have these top high school leagues across over 10,000 schools apiece. And so for anyone curious, to reach these limits is not too hard for a lot of these leagues.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Who also rely a lot on sponsors and rely on what they give out to bring in schools.
Right, yeah, like in that $10,000 may not sound like, like that crazy, but think about like say one scholarship. That's like usually in the couple thousand range.
Yeah.
So you hand out one scholarship and you're already at a third of your quota for the year. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, what the?
Yeah, not only that, but all competitions must both start and finish within 14 days. So if you have one event and you want to keep it running for a semester, you can't do that. You got to finish it within 2 weeks.
Okay, so it can't be like a tour. It can't be a collection of points. It's got to be a single, probably a weekend.
Yeah,
I don't mind that too much. The other ones
very limiting.
The other ones seem pretty egregious. Obviously, that one's not too bad. Are there other ones that we're worried about?
Yeah, they can't. No events can be sponsored or sanctioned by any other esports governing body. So, if any other esports org wanted to come in and say, hey, this high school that we're close to, you'd like to support your League of Legends event, can't do that. Not allowed. And then there's some really weird word stuff where they're like, the name of your event cannot use the following words: varsity, season, championship, postseason, league, or playoffs. Not allowed. Can't say those.
What is going on? I know that apparently, now I could be wrong on this, I know when it comes time for the big football game of the year, you know what I'm talking about? The big bowl. I don't know if we're allowed to say.
If you're allowed to say the actual. Yeah.
I've actually seen content creators not say that. I don't know if that's true. If you guys know what I'm talking about.
We'll play it safe. But
to have those words like league, playoffs, varsity.
The most generic sports term you could ever think of.
Yeah.
They're just like, no, you can't do that.
And so they didn't have any response on this. There's no
response. But
why is this a classic big move, big company move kind of thing?
I mean, they did respond, but their response was just like, we're listening to feedback. That doesn't mean the rules are going to change, but we're listening.
Yeah. That's very, very strange.
So of course, tons of educators have banded together to write an open letter to Riot.
Cool.
Saying that, hey, these rules just aren't okay. This isn't going to fly. We will just straight up stop having any League of Legends esports at our schools if you keep doing it, because they just can't, realistically speaking.
Yeah.
They asked for a lot of very reasonable requests. They asked for representation on Riot's school board, because they have one that manages all this stuff apparently. And apparently none of the schools have representation at all. It's just Riot chilling, Riot and other organizations. And then they offer a way for these events to become sanctioned by Riot, because at current there's no way to get official Riot approval to say, hey, Riot likes this event, it's officially sponsored, totally fine, or officially sanctioned. No way for that to happen.
To be fair, it is still in development. Obviously, when you have 10, 15,000 schools, and that's not even including multiple leagues, that's just one.
Right.
It's got to be. It's going to be a process for sure.
Yeah, this is just a very heavy swing with these rules, where they could have. I feel like they could have spent a little bit more time working with it. Feel some stuff out instead of rolling out all of this stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there has to be almost a reason. I'm surprised they haven't responded as to why exactly they limited to. The big limitations for me are the sponsors and the $10,000 to give out. So I wish they would have said exactly why. Was someone taking advantage?
See, the thing is, I'm wondering if this has to do with their new exclusive deal with PlayVS. Because PlayVS signed with Riot Games to become the official host of all high school League of Legends.
And PlayVS also is partnered with Epic Games, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And so they're the big league. Yeah. Do they have exceptions, or do they follow the same rules?
No, this is only community. PlayVS isn't community. So this doesn't affect PlayVS at all.
This is dirty.
Yeah, so it really, who knows if that's actually the case, but it certainly isn't a great look. Because I'll be real, I like PlayVS. I like a lot of what they're doing.
But you can't. Oh no! You can't limit it to just one.
You can't stifle all the grassroots.
Open market. Yeah, you can't just let one. If what we're saying is correct, you can't just have one high school league to rule them all.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, I understand why you might want to focus the attention on the one league.
Oh no!
But you can't. Like, what are you gonna do here? Like, PlayVS, like, students have to pay to participate in that. $64 per season. So that's 2 seasons per year. It's over $120.
And they are the most well-established now, certainly with their connections. So if this is the case, and maybe we're reading this incorrectly, so I just want to throw that out there in case.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm just saying it's unfortunate it looks like this.
But it looks very odd if you have PlayVS, the now certainly #1 established esports league, especially with their partnerships with now Fortnite, League of Legends, others as well. And what else could you do better to stamp out all competition than to limit their sponsors and limit their prize pools?
Yep.
That's the #1 driver of one, putting them on, and 2, attending them.
Yeah, absolutely.
This does not look good to me.
Yeah, it's wild, and I hope Riot, responds to this open letter in depth with reasons behind their choices, and hopefully rolling back some of these rules. Because, I mean, this is going to kill the high school scene for League of Legends. Like, a large part of it, at least. Because not everybody can participate in PlayVS.
On the other side of things, it might make things simpler, though. And if PlayVS can actually put on as many events as possible, maybe it would.
Yeah, simpler, but
maybe it makes it simpler, but
also makes it inaccessible to way too many people.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on this, and if any high school esports leagues or players want to reach out and talk about this, maybe hopefully give their 2 cents.
Absolutely, I will say, in this open letter, once again, educators are like, "Hey, we'll just stop playing League."
PlayVS, guys.
That's the threat they're making. They're just like, "Yeah, we're just not."
PlayVS, the monopoly of the high school and collegiate esports league.
Oof, scary stuff.
All right, Zan, closing statements. Our final story together conjoined.
Yep. Let's talk about the big monster in the corner.
The virus that's going to be coronavirus that sadly no one cares about, but I think maybe more they will now because, dude.
Now that it's really I feel like it all came to a head today. Like, while we're recording this, so many events were like, hey guys, we just can't.
If you guys are a viewer of the channel, we sit in the office together, and legitimately every 15 minutes now we were checking Twitter. Event after event after event. I think the roller coaster last week started with E3, then all the Overwatch homestands.
Yeah, I was keeping a list for to go down the list today, and I just stopped.
Literally, I just started naming esports. I was like League of Legends, Overwatch, Rocket League, CS:GO, PUBG, whatever. Call of Duty now just canceled all their homestands.
Find us an esport that isn't canceled.
Yeah. That's the easier way. You guys find us a single esport. FGC canceled their. Is that
tons? The FGC is ruined. Actually, this is going to kill the scene.
I mean, we'll try and keep it short just because we could legitimately talk about so many esports.
Yeah.
I don't think we realize now that this moment in time, 2020, is going to be historical. We will look back and we're gonna remember we were at Esports Talk. We talked about every single event that got canceled. Tom Hanks and his wife. Sorry. It's such a weird
nuts. Because I don't think realistically speaking, we've seen viruses similar to this in the past, right? But nothing that is actually torpedoed so much of an industry like this in such a make or break year. I feel why this is such a bad thing for esports, because a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's fine, the events can just go online. Esports has that benefit over regular sports.
No.
But this is such
yes, but no.
Yes, but no. Yeah, because this is such a make or break year for so many scenes.
We talked about this, bro. We're in the midst of a bubble, and of course the virus is What's that I smell? A bubble over in esports?
Yeah, right. Like this is the first year for the Call of Duty League where they poured all of this money into doing the best they could at all these events to show that they could do it.
Make or break year for Overwatch League by many regards out there. All of their homestands, bye-bye. Even the number one esport in the world in the largest regions of Korea and Asia entirely have just been blanketed by this.
Yeah, League of Legends, like LEC and the LCS have both like been like, yeah, we're just canceling all fan interactions, no audience, no press,
LCK,
nothing.
LPL, LJL, whatever.
Make up an acronym, it's been canceled.
Tell us an abbreviation that's not been canceled. It's just, I don't know, man. I know that we like to see. We like to make some jokes about it, but it certainly is getting very serious.
Right.
And I think we will be for the months coming talking about the repercussions. I mean, let's close on this. We talked about before we even started this, just one team in general. Maybe this is actually our main topic for this.
Right.
The Huntsmen. NRG's COD team, the Chicago Huntsmen, they sold over 7,000 tickets for their homestand. God knows how much the former Optic, now Hector, and some of their players play for that COD team.
Right.
God knows how much merch they would have sold. The venue itself, who knows if they're going to get a refund for the venue.
Yeah, there's like insurance. People are always saying like, oh yeah, it's fine. Just go back to the insurance claim. Doesn't necessarily work like that for events like this. It's very complicated. Very likely a lot of these organizers are going to have to pay out of pocket for the cancellation.
And so you look at it, organization NRG, or maybe just call them Chicago Huntsmen, they're maybe losing out on a potential $1 million plus, and that might be even at the very, very least. Yeah. And so you got to expect a lot of these teams who already have bought into these leagues, and now to have these homestands fail with already a gigantic investment on the line, investing into the homestands as well, all the time, the staff. You just don't know what's going to happen. Will we Rocket League World Championships done? Will we see CSGO Majors? Will we see a Dota International? Will we see League of Legends Worlds? Will there be massive layoffs for a lot of these esports organizations? It's got to be a worry.
Absolutely. I'm sure these conversations are happening in every single organizer's room right now. I know in the FGC in particular, especially because most of the biggest major events are put on by community members that are just doing that as like essentially hobbyists, and who are like Jabali runs CEO Dreamland. He had to cancel that, and he was very realistic on Twitter saying, hey guys, if you can afford to not ask for a refund, please do not do so, because realistically speaking, it's a single figure.
I mean, literally,
digit
FGC
chances.
Relies on in-person
sales
and
because our online system is just frick.
It doesn't work.
So we can't host we cannot do fair tournaments online for most of our games.
Yeah.
So they just have to cancel the events, and all that money is gone. Most of that money comes out of pockets of like individuals, not organizations. And so next year, it'll be interesting to see how many of the major fighting game events are even around still. Yeah. Can even exist. So, and this time I think it's best to ask the community be understanding of all these organizations trying to sort their way through what is definitely a huge blow to them. If it takes them a second to get you your refund back, please be understanding.
Still be a fan.
Yeah, please. Know that it's not them trying to steal your money. They are really, really hurting. We're all hurting. I think we're safely. We didn't put on an event this year, so
thank God. A little meet and greet out in Las Vegas.
Right.
We'd have to refund 15 tickets.
Give back one merch shirt.
We actually probably can still have it.
Right.
Public health officials you have 12 people here. You're fine.
Yeah. They're like, guys, we said no events over 250 people.
And we're like, well. Okay.
Yeah. We had 25, so we're okay.
But it's obviously going to be detrimental. We're going to be covering it for all of you guys. Luckily enough, we have all of you guys online watching us.
Yeah, stay safe, everyone. Really
stay safe.
Wash your hands.
Take it seriously. And we'll be keeping you guys posted. All right, Zen, break them down with the outro,
All right, everybody. Listen to the Esports Talk, Esports Rewind, excuse me. You can do that on the go, Jake. Were you aware of that?
What?
If you wanted to listen to our podcast on your phone without having to open up YouTube, and how you can't listen to YouTube while your phone is sleeping.
That's so dumb, but I know what you talk about.
Yeah, exactly, right?
How else could I watch or listen?
Surprisingly, we have an audio version of the podcast available on Spotify, on iTunes, wherever you want to listen it to. Via the prediction, excuse me, that last coronavirus section had me we
really built that up, huh?
Stressed. Anyway, we're on the Prediction Esports Talk Show Network right here on the desk, PREEDICTION. They're great people, tons of great esports talk shows there. You can find all of our content there every single week, same day, or actually one day before the video podcast goes live. So, if you want to check that out, please do so. Please subscribe, download an episode. It does help support us on the channel. Also, please leave a like, please subscribe, leave a comment. All of that really does.
Do it all, baby.
Yeah. Let us know how you like the podcast, what you think we can improve on, what you'd like to see on next episode. We do really enjoy, hearing from you guys. Please reach out on Twitter, Instagram. You get a lot of you guys talking to us every week. It's really great to hear from you all. And Jake, do you have anything you'd like to share with them?
Thanks to all of you fools who subscribe. We broke 90K last week.
Oh, yeah. I think we're at 90.5.
Yeah, which is really exciting because 100K is right around the corner, and it seems like we actually might hit it. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks to all of you guys who sent us DMs for stories. You guys are the true ones. And until next time, we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Same time, same day, every single week. Thank you guys for watching the Esports Rewind. And until next time, stay safe, gamers.
Stay healthy, stay clean.
Stay clean, mothers.